Design thinking, stages and tools. Design thinking is an effective method to generate innovative ideas with your target audience in mind. Understanding the needs and motivations of your target audience is key in developing services and products that can address users' real needs. Its stages are: empathize, define, ideate, prototype, and test. Design thinking is a progressive process, but not necessarily linear. As we move through the process, we can and should always go back to previous stages to refine and improve our findings. The cyclical character of design thinking allows us to revisit and redefine a problem based on the results of a test. In the following, we will take a closer look at the first stage of design thinking. Stage 1. Empathize. Empathizing means to develop a deep understanding of the needs of the people who are involved in a problem we are looking to address. This includes an understanding of the context, circumstances, as well as aspirations of the users. Because what may seem problematic to us may not necessarily be perceived as a problem by others. As a solution designers, we must be able to put ourselves in the shoes of others, in this case, of our target audience, in order to develop approaches that are consistent with their realities. But what actually is a social problem? Brazilian scientist and systems researcher La Rovere defines a social problem as follows: a gap between a reality or an aspect of an observed reality and a value of desire of how the reality should be for a certain observed, be it individual or collective. Keeping that in mind will be key as we analyze the problem. Why? Because firstly, the problem we are looking to solve may not be a problem for the target population, and that is why we must empathize to get a much better understanding of the reality of our target audience. And secondly, it is highly possible that the solution we are thinking about is charted with our own values and desires of what we think a solution to a problem we observe should look like. In other words, the empathizing stage helps us overcome our own biases before starting to think about solutions. Where can we start? Think about associated issues you observe in relation to the topic you are looking to tackle. Brainstorm in your team and list as many observations as you can think of. It doesn't matter how long the list will be. Following the brainstorming, shortlist up to 3 issues from your list. You can use any criteria to identify these issues. Make sure that you agree on the criteria together. Last but not least, discuss why you think those are a problem. Use the Fishbone Diagram to explore and map different causes of the problems you selected. To be aware of the things that could cause a problem will put you in a better position to start thinking about a solution. First of all, make sure you have your short-listed problems. Remember, no more than 3 from the previous activity handy. And secondly, keep in mind that a Fishbone Diagram is problem-specific. Each of your short-listed problems should be mapped on a different diagram. Now, let's follow these steps. Step 1. Write down the exact problem you want to tackle in the fishbone head. Step 2. Identify factors that may be part of the problem. These may be systems, resources, external forces, people involved with the problem, and so on, and turn each factor into a vertical fishbone. Step 3. Identify possible causes and potential effects for each factor and fill the gaps between your vertical fishbones. Again, brainstorming in your team will help to go beyond the obvious. Step 4. Review the diagram and identify which of the causes you can influence. Those are the ones you may want to pursue further. Remember that this activity is recommended whether or not you have already identified the one problem area you will be working on. If you haven't selected your problem already, now is the time to do it. You can use your Fishbone Diagram as catalyst for your decision. The process of empathizing is important because it allows us to generate a more comprehensive understanding of the problem. What is being done, what is possible, and what is not. Our recommendation to unpack the problem further: observe, talk, and systematize. How can we observe and have meaningful conversations? First, let's take a look at the different actors that are directly or indirectly related to your problem. Stakeholder mapping is a great way to help you identify the who is who. Put the problem you selected in the center of the map and identify all the possible actors from across sectors, whether public, private, community, or civil society, that connect to the problem. This will help you identify who the strategic actors of the problem are, who we can turn to for collaboration, and who we need to keep on the radar for possible interferences. And then engage with the community, or your target audience. Talk to the people who are experiencing the problem you are looking to address, and find out what they think, what or how they feel, what they hear, what they say, what they do or don't do, and what they see about the problem. Having a deeper understanding of people's perspective will help greatly when encompassing solutions to a given problem. Remember to be kind when you engage with the community and be grateful for their willingness to share their experience with you. After a lot of brainstorming, mapping, discussing, exploring, and observing, it's important to review our data and systematize the information. This will give us a solid starting point and an ample context to tackle the selected problem.